chilling tonight. I can feel it tonight. Hey, man, where my radio, man? Yeah. I need you to turn that up. Jamming tonight. Turn on the radio. You and I turn on the radio. Yeah. Turn on the radio. You and the cops turn on the radio.
Pull the way up like we in a club. Fly flashy, grown classy, so turn it to dub. Saturday mornings, no walk of shame, we fresh up. 950 lounge, that's my guilty pleasure. I don't miss my favorite show, I put everything on hold. Work the baby, even the babysitter know. When 950 come on, don't bother. I'm locked in 10 to 1, no problem.
Turn on the radio. You and I turn on the radio. Yeah. Turn on the radio. You and the cops turn on the radio.
My guest to my left is a young lady that I had the pleasure of getting to know back in January, and she was supposed to come here but caught the nasty flu. This New York weather can do it to you. We built a rapport. I did a couple of her shows online a few times and had a great time. And through the process, I've watched her grow and do the things she's doing. And now she's doing a big event with my man Carl Michelle today in the city. And she stopped over at 9 Lounge first to say hello. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome all the way from the Bay.
Good morning.
Ari Rose, how you doing, darling? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Good morning, mic check. You guys hear me?
Let the audience fade out. All right, now you can go ahead.
I need another round of applause. Let me try this again.
Michelle, let's get another clap for Ari Rose. There we go.
A crowd.
And go.
And then go down goes Frank.
Ari Rose.
Welcome, hon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Listen, getting to know you a little bit, I know your schedule is hectic and crazy, so I really appreciate a few minutes here this morning. It's not easy, and we're kind of like in a remote area of New York, hitting to the world. I call it Castle Grayskull. But
where's he taking me to?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why he was driving like that. You sure you want to go?
Uber, he's like, am I being set up?
Oh, stop it. You're not the first person to ever think that, I'm sure. But again, thank you for coming today. It's really a pleasure to meet you face to face. You do a lot of different things. Obviously, you model, you host, you act. But, something that obviously I think is near and dear to you is that you're now in the motivational speaking.
Yes.
You kind of give an empowerment to women and people of color. Talk about that a little bit, because in this world that we live in, we can go all close eyes and think like it ain't going on, but it's happening around us. Mm-hmm. People are losing. They're not confident about themselves. They're fearful what's happening around them. They think they don't have a voice. That I might have to shrivel up in a corner and die. But you're here to say something different. Talk about how you're motivating in the Bay and obviously throughout the country.
Yeah, so basically, I don't even know how it came across or how I even started. It literally just happened one day. I grabbed the phone and I'm in the car and I had something on my mind that I wanted to speak on. Because, sometimes we want to rant. We see things on social media. We're like, that's not right. Or like, why do people think like this? So I started with that, and then I started seeing the audience build, my following go up. It started growing, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm onto something. Right. So from there, I started getting a lot of direct messages from women.
Right.
Saying, I respect what you're saying. Thank you so much. I needed that today. Oh my God, that was so powerful. I was on the verge of doing this, and I'm like, okay, so there's a lot of women that are actually looking for guidance, looking for that mentorship. So I figured if I have this knowledge and it's helping somebody, why not work on it more and create something bigger? So I prayed on it, and one day I woke up in June and I decided this fall I'm gonna mentor 30 women. And I put it out there. I got on my website, I did a little shopping cart. Within the first 8 hours, 11 girls had signed up and paid. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't even have material. I'm like, oh, well, now I really got to do this.
Now I got to do something, huh? But you got that money.
I got that money.
Got that money.
I got that money.
Real quick.
So
let me do something now.
I got that Uber XL money now.
No refunds.
No refunds.
You look like, that's how they go if I got that money.
So that's how it started. So I did this. It's a 4-week online course that I'm doing, and I decided to call it Project Slay in Every Way, because I feel like we live in a really sad era now, right? Where men do minimal efforts to get a woman, and vice versa. There's no efforts. This is a bigger topic than what it is. I see his face. I see his face. So that's why.
Don't stare at me. No, it's not. No, I do maximum efforts.
Go ahead, Ari. Shut up, Brody. Let me
But
talk.
we live in an era where, nowadays everything's like superficial, everything's materialistic. Women think, if you look good, you a bad one, you're slaying. You got the red bottoms, I'm slaying, and like, no, you're not. Like, do you know how to cook? Do you know how to make a scrambled egg? Do you know how to walk into an interview?
Do you know where the kitchen's
Do you know
at?
how to build your resume?
There you go.
Do you know how to put an event together to raise, for a greater cause? Like, do you know how to be a blessing? There's so many other things. That's slaying.
Yeah.
Do you know how to enroll in college?
So you mean not twerking on Instagram is not slang?
No,
I'm man Rashad. That's why I'm back,
Shout out to
baby.
Rashad. Shout out to
I'm
Rashad.
back. Let's go.
Shout out to Rashad.
So this project is called Slay in Every Way. And so what I want to do and what I'm doing, and I hope I can continue to do this, is just to help women slay in every aspect of their life, and just showing them to respect themselves, helping them work on their self-esteem. And now that my 4-week course ended, I had all my girls like, well, what's next, Ari? And I'm like,
Left
"Ooh,
them in Jerusalem
I don't know.
in the desert.
So now I'm doing one-on-one coaching. So I
Fantastic.
opened up a schedule, and they can go on there and click and schedule their own slots, and we get on phone calls or Skype, whatever they need, and we talk about our goals and plans.
Now, when you say obviously you're giving women confidence, it obviously for people who are watching they can see, but people who are listening, you're a very beautiful woman. Do you think that brings in more credibility that somebody that has done the modeling and has probably been admired for years for her exterior can actually make that comment? Because of no disrespect, but if a woman who's a little less attractive to everybody's got beauty in them,
right?
But if somebody's a little less attractive to the masses, can they make that comment? Like, obviously because what you've done, you can say, hey, listen, I've been there. I know what it is to people not want to hear what I have to say because of my previous career. So it did bring some credibility.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I also think with good looks, whatever you want to call it, comes a lot of hate, comes a lot of other obstacles that you have to have that strength within you and be able to block that noise out, which is a lot more difficult than someone that doesn't have to deal with it.
Right.
So that strength is what has built my confidence up. Confidence doesn't really have to do with looks. It helps, but actually you have more demons that you got to tackle because people come at you from every which way. Right. So I think that's what helps me be able to help other women, regardless.
Confidence it's a mind thing. If your mind is confident, you can achieve anything.
For sure.
Basically, so it is it's a mind thing to get that confidence.
Yeah, and it's a habit you got to build. Positivity and that confidence. It's a habit that you have to create.
Positive
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, it's a
Vic
process.
could send us some hats.
Yeah,
I'm sure. If you get some bunch of different colors, don't be alarmed. Vic will send us a waiver. Exactly. So when you put this together, obviously you was very successful in what you was doing. What led you to say, hey, you know what, I want to help? Obviously we all, like Sapphire mentioned, like we all as good human beings, we all have that in us to say we want to help our fellow man. But you actually put it together and really already crazy schedule, carved time. So what gave you the inertia to say, I really want to go out and help women?
So I've worked on my own career, my brand for like 8 years. Last year I got a really good opportunity, and I live in Silicon Valley. So I went back to the tech world as a program coordinator for a huge company. And everything was great, salary was great, but I was so miserable. And I worked from home. And it still wasn't good enough.
Know that feeling.
And my boss would let me travel. But when she gave me the job, she said, Ari, I'll give you the job under one condition. I said, what? She said, that you never put this job first. Because you're never going to become Oprah sitting in an office at corporate.
Wow.
She said, so when it's time for you to go, I need you to go. And I'm like, and she always was just trying to uplift me. And I'm like, this is so great to have somebody of a woman that caliber helping me out and letting me. So when the time came, I prayed on it. I was like, I'm miserable, but I feel almost selfish quitting this job. So I got laid off after I prayed on it.
Oh, wow.
I had prayed on it. And so when I got laid off, I took that as a blessing.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, you just got to follow the path and follow the God. At the end of the day, it's not what I want to do. It's what I'm put on this earth to do.
Right.
So that's what I follow. And I feel like I see everything, rising up. Everything's going good. I'm getting good reaction. Everyone seems to be loving it. So it's like, okay, maybe this is my path.
That's what's happened.
Oh, yeah, I'm just listening to Amazing Story. I also know that you're a community activist. You do a lot of stuff in the community. I wanted to know if you have any specific programs or charities that you're most passionate about that, you lend a hand to.
Yeah, so I started Ari's Wings, which is, it's not even a nonprofit, and I need to turn it into a nonprofit. This is going on 7 years. But every year I put a toy drive together for my community, and it's been getting bigger and bigger. I was driving one day past the park, and I saw a lot of homeless people. It was a very cold winter in the Bay Area. And so I went home crying. I said, what do I do? Within 1 week, I had a couple 49ers come through. I got a restaurant for free. I got a free DJ. I said, let's do a coat drive. So I get maybe about 400 coats. I go to the parks to deliver them. Nobody wanted my coats.
Wow.
I was devastated. Like, nobody out on the streets wanted my coats. They were,
Right, you probably said, wait a minute. What?
and I'm like,
so it's cold out.
it's cold, but
And
it's their pride.
It was their pride.
It was their pride.
To say, I know that
and
I'm
they were
needy, but I'm not going to beg you for it.
Exactly.
That doesn't make sense.
So I ended up going to women's shelters, and in the process, I saw so many little kids coming out, and I'm like, let me do something for the kids.
Yeah.
So the next year, I did a toy drive. Last year, thanks be to God, I raised 1,600 toys with the help. I get big radio personalities, Warriors, Raiders now, Niners. Last year, I had Navarro Bowman, which was huge to have him come in and sign. And all the fans line up. I had now companies, not big companies, but our local companies will call. Yeah, but they'll call and say, hey, are you doing the toy drive this year? What can I want to donate food. I want to come in and, so it keeps getting bigger and bigger, but it's just me.
Yeah.
And I don't know nothing about nonprofits, so I'm going to utilize you after the
I
show.
used to work for a nonprofit organization years ago, so a lot of the
Yeah.
things I've kept in head, and I
Yeah.
just went to a women's event. That's why I'm looking. I went to a great women's minority business event yesterday that I actually caught on my Facebook through Kev or something, through mutual friends that did, and I actually went, and actually ended up being quite an amazing event. So that actually just put that extra on what I already had in my mind.
Awesome. That's so amazing.
Actually, so I know what you mean by stars are in alignment. You know, when you just invest in you and just go ahead and your ideas are starting to formulate. You don't know how, but things are just coming together on a common cause. You know you're headed in the right direction. So that's what I'm just
Exactly.
interested in.
Right.
But we can definitely chop it up after.
Yeah.
We're talking to Ari Rose, motivational speaker. Joining in backstage.
Yeah, I was going to ask you one thing now. Sorry to throw this out here, but due to the fact of who we have out there in the big house, how has
Mama's
it been?
house?
How has it been? Shut up. How has it been now since with the motivational and everything else? Since we have this new president that's been so divisive and negative and making
And
America
grabs women by the
divide?
private parts.
Yeah.
I try to stay away on talking about 45.
No, but I'm talking about how was you able to help out with the people?
So what I've been doing is just more motivational speaking of letting people know that we need to stick together in these times, that now more than ever we need unity. And I know it sounds so cliche, but it's so important. You know, I feel like you can't jam it inside people's heads enough. And like you guys were talking about earlier, the disasters going on. I'm Mexican, I'm from Mexico. A lot of people have been affected. And that's a huge devastation from the earthquake. And I'm actually raising some stuff for Puerto Rico in Miami on Monday, and people are bombarding me talking, oh, what about Mexico? Oh, but you're Mexican. Okay, well, can we just help everybody out?
Right.
Or like, okay, well, if I'm busy here with Puerto Rico, can you step up and help out with Mexico?
Right.
So I think it's just putting out the message, like, it doesn't matter where you're from, what color, what race, what age, like, we need to all stick together. We're going through very difficult times, whether you're a minority or you're not. It's a difficult and it's a very ugly era that we're going through.
Yes, really.
And so it's more about preaching, just like, stay positive. Let's let's be positive together. That's all I can really say. So I do a lot of my speeches based on that, actually.
It's funny you say that because it's talking to a business owner the other day, and he said, with the situation in Washington, it's giving people a chance, or it should motivate people to say, find the hero within inside you.
Yeah.
Because maybe, if you look up, you're not going to find that comfort where you might have thought that comfort is. So like we're in part with drives and giving back to Puerto Rico, sending stuff to Houston, the earthquakes in Mexico. So the hero in each and one of us is coming alive. So they're saying, oh, let the government do it and, just pass it along. No, we have to do it. We are our brother's keeper. And I think sometimes when we're dealing with adversities that we can't control, people vote the guy into office, it is what it is. But we find the hero within us to be better.
You know what's so funny about it? Because you listen to it's an old cliche, but it really, hits this moment when you just keep on saying, like, united we stand or divided we fall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you look at it and it's really more true today than anything else with that saying.
I agree.
Now, Ari, getting to know you a little bit through these last couple of months, you really you pour a lot of your personal into social media.
Yeah.
Which obviously I think you shine a light into your life with your daughter, the things you do with your little nephew. Talk about family life, because you do a lot of running, but you still are raising a young girl.
Yeah.
So that's obviously trying to balance professional, on the road and home life. Talk about that balance for you.
Well, it's not really a difficult balance for me because I've been a single mom since my daughter was 2. She's 15 years old now. So I've been a single mother for 13 years. I have her 7 days a week. Right. It's me and her, so it's not like I drop her off with dad on Saturday. Like, no. So as much as ripping and running that I do, it's like when I'm home, I'm home.
Yeah.
And every single night, 7 days a week, I make sure I get in that bed and she wakes up, we wake up together, we have breakfast. So everything comes, she's first before everything. So when I'm gone, I don't feel guilty because I'm working. It's not like I'm just out playing or I'm just out running the streets. Like I'm actually out because I'm networking. And people don't get that. People are so quick to judge. Yeah. Or they'll say, well, you don't really post your daughter so much. Well, that's my personal life.
Why would I just
that's my baby. Like, and that's my.
Don't focus on her. That's not for you.
Personal life.
Ari started cutting. I started cutting.
Separate.
You do, because I share so much, like you said, of my life.
Yeah.
I'm an open book, but there's certain things that I keep personal, and that's like my daughter. And at the end of the day, she's a little girl, and you don't know what creeps are watching. I will never put her name out there. I'll post her picture maybe like once every 6 months, and it's so funny. People are, and I don't care what people say. Like, all right, whatever. It don't make me, it don't do nothing for me.
They ain't pay you.
No, my checks are still coming in, baby. The coins are dropping.
Oh, Silicon Valley is finest.
But family is super important. And my nephew just went through. He beat cancer. Thanks be to God. No he got it when he was 10. He's 12 now, and so that made that brought us as a family closer. It grew our faith. And we use that as a testimony now for a lot of people to let them know, faith and prayer moves mountains.
Yes.
Family's just always been. My parents have been married for 50 years.
Wow.
Nice.
So in love. Nice. They don't eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner without each other. It's still. I hope it still exists.
Why are you knocking?
He's knocking on wood, trying to wish him luck.
Yeah.
It's him. Like, you act like it's something special.
See, we didn't warn you before you came here, Ari. Rodeo has a little sickness called Black Tourette's. They probably have a lot of that in the Fillmore. But
the day you say we are happy, that's when it goes all wrong.
That's
why I say you knock on wood. 50 years, knock on wood.
I'm like, why we breaking the table?
Yeah, exactly.
Your phone didn't drop.
Thought you was like,
It was like a big hard knock, like it wasn't like a tap like
So knock 3 times.
Wait, I'm from California. I thought it was an earthquake. I was about to stop, drop. Oh no!
But I got one question for you. Now, you were talking about your daughter and your family.
Yes.
Now, when you do all the things that you do and everything else, do you see them picking up some of the habits and some of the inspirational things that you do?
Oh yeah. I try not to shove it down people's throats. You know what I mean? I try not to shut this up. Did you guys hear me?
I don't want to shut that down. You're doing the same.
That's messed up. That's a mic check. I didn't want to shove it down your throat. Get close.
But I do see them picking up a lot of the traits, and I see like the house getting happy. It uplifts everybody, and I think when you fill yourself with motivation and positivity, you radiate that.
Yeah.
And so you can't help but like people around you pick it up and kind of start picking up some. It's whoever you hang out with, you kind of become similar like them, right? Isn't that what they say?
Nice.
Yes, they do.
We're gonna put you to work, Ari.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna put you to work.
Okay.
Give me 5 tips that some women who listen today, single parents, raising kids, going through adversities, looking to leave their job for a more entrepreneurial situation. Give me 5 tips that somebody listening today can use right now that can get better this moment.
All right. So first thing is speak to your mountains. Don't worry about the fears you have inside. If you feel like you can do it, you can do it.
Achieve it.
You can definitely achieve it. So number one is always forget about the fears.
Right.
Don't let other people tell you what you can and cannot do, because as soon as we have an idea, we want to tell our best friend. And our best friend's mind capacity might not be the same capacity that you have in your mind. So don't let that out. You can talk to them about it, but don't let the outside influence you.
Right.
3, I always like to say, okay, actually, before I go on, question. Do you guys feel like everyone should have a backup plan?
No.
No.
I think you should.
Losing is not an
No,
option for
thank
me.
you.
I think you
That's
should
just
always
my
have
opinion.
one, but it's not losing. But it's always
alternate.
There's always something to fall back on. There's always something extra to
Let's hear
have.
what Ari has to say.
All right.
Ari,
You the expert.
I like to say, don't worry about the backup plan.
thank you.
Because you should be confident enough to know that you're going to get what you're coming for.
Roll the dice on you.
Boy, so
Yeah.
all
That
this
was
side
my
parking
thing
is not in
last
effect
night.
today.
And I hit snake eyes. Oh, gotta go to work Monday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But Ari told me.
Ari told me.
Don't get it. I ain't get it. No.
I'm going to see Ari
You
on the
will
West
get
Coast.
it.
Ari like, who are you?
You will
They didn't
get
even
it.
want.
You want a
will
coat?
get it.
They didn't want her coats. What was the brand of the coats? You know, was there a brand?
We're beyond the code.
Oh,
It's anything for free. Look at you.
It was from
No, it's not
Marshall.
Naval Bowman's coat. He's not pulling out his
I know. I'm
closet.
just saying, you know.
Number 4.
Okay, number 4.
I thought that was sweet.
Write your plan out. Write your plan out. Put it in writing. Everything begins with writing. No matter what industry you're in, make writing a habit, because that's what's
existence.
really, it's
Yeah.
every day I start with the writing, even if it's a prayer, if it's a poem, if it's a quote, but get in the habit of doing a daily writing, because that brings things.
Can it be like a diary of what you want
Yeah.
to do?
Yeah.
We know you don't write, Rhoda. You can speak
I
yours
write.
into the phone. Just
Believe
get
me.
an app.
Actually-
New adventures, as you talk, it types. Works very well.
It may not understand the
They
words.
do
It's not
say,
gonna understand the words you say.
Define what you're saying.
they do say though that a pen and paper or pencil and paper makes things really come to
It
life.
does.
So that would be number 4. And number 5, if you're going to start a business, do your research the competition, see what they're doing, not to compete against them, but to see how you can do that and then add something more to get
okay.
people to come to you.
Well
Tweak
said.
it.
Yeah, to tweak it, to make it
think,
your own
yeah.
version.
Take that
Everybody
game plan and
tweaks
switch it up a
everything
little
from
bit.
someone. No
Yeah.
one is really walking around with just this. You may have somebody that's starting something original, but 9 times out of 10, if you look at people, it's from something else that
Yeah.
they've seen, that they've liked, that they're emulating, and they put their own little touches on it. If that's the case, we'd only have one singer, one athlete,
Right.
one actor, one this, but we don't. We have
Yeah.
many of those things because we're all tweaking off of each other, what's working, what's not.
Yeah, and you got to study the
Borrowing
people
from each other.
Right.
and you have to study who's being successful and what they're doing.
Oh.
You know, because for example, I have a lot of women that start online boutiques, right? Because I know people send a lot of items for me to wear for events,
Right.
and then they'll mention, well, I just can't seem to get the following up. Well, you got to study those big companies like the Fashion Nova and all those companies and say, okay, well, look at the quality of their pictures. Look at the times that they're posting. Look at the style. Look at the, So it's about studying the competition and then using that to,
Right.
It's free game.
There's nothing wrong with copying off somebody else's success if it's a blueprint that you see it works for you.
Greatest form of
Exactly.
flattery. Go ahead,
What
Josh.
about failures? What about people's failures? Should you look at people's failures and say, okay, they failed this way, but let me see if I can make that a success.
Yeah.
In the way they fail. Because everybody's like, oh, look at people's successes, but you should also look at some people's failures, because by some failures,
You can't be successful if you never
You
fail.
can turn that failure
Right.
Right.
into
Into a
your idea,
positive.
incorporate it, and make it a
Exactly.
success.
You'd be a fool not to study people's failures, because that's going to save you time. It's going to save a lot of your energy. And even within your own failures, you got to step back when you take that L, step back and really analyze and be real with yourself. Like, where did I go wrong? Did I
happened?
only put half the work in? Could I have done more? And then, tweak it and try it again, because maybe you were just missing that little small piece. You ever do something and you're like, I'm missing something. Like, I know I could get this, but I don't know how. Like, there's a little chip. So it's,
Me and my brother, I think we experienced that when we first started the show, because my brother,
No, you
he was
experienced
ready.
it.
Well, LeBron James is ready to quit on the team.
I was gonna quit on y'all.
And I told him, yo, let's continue because we were gonna quit.
Yeah.
But that, like you said, that perseverance.
It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was like LeBron's first time in Cleveland. Took the jersey off and you take it. I'm going to Miami.
He wanted to burn it.
He wanted to burn the
With no
jersey.
matches.
Go see Ari Rose today at the Playhouse Theater, 151 West 46th Street, New York. New York. Big shout to my man Carl Michelle. They're doing the Youth Empowerment Show, and Ari is one of the speakers today.
Yes.
You can still get tickets. Go to www.youthempowermentshow.com. Again, yes, the Youth Empowerment Show series. Big shout out to that brother Carl Michelle. We built some things and we really do some positive business stuff. And I got something for you. We'll talk when you get
All
home.
right.
But
Sounds
again,
good.
real quick, give you social media where people can reach out to you, book you for gigs.
Yeah, so everything across the platform is I am Ari Rose. My website, my Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, everything. It's just I am Ari Rose.
The A Rose. Anybody ever get you mixed up with Amber?
No,
Okay.
but they always think
Slap
my
him on- hit him with the mic.
they always think my name is Marie though.
Marie?
Because
My
the way you
bio
read it.
before just
Yeah.
said my name is not Marie.
Like Donnie and Marie? the
No,
singers?
because that's not even. That's a little ethnic. That's like saying your name is Rollo. You know,
Call me Rollo.
Well, because you act like a Rollo. But
Rollo
again,
Lawson.
the Youth Empowerment Show today at noon.
Yeah.
The Playhouse Theater, 151 West 46th
Yes.
Street. That's in Midtown Manhattan, Times Square area, New York City. This lovely lady will be speaking, talking about some of the jewels she mentioned today. Ari, thank you so much. It's been
Thank
fun
you
having
guys
you
so
on.
much for having me.
A real pleasure, and
It was a
I
blessing.
hope the next time
Totally
you in the Empire State, you stop by again.
Of course, anytime.
No
Just
doubt.
come on down to
Yo, can I get it in the morning? Every Saturday I be up, no yawning. 950 lounge on Square.